keeping an eye on bank stocks. Despite the fact that most of the banks saw their profits decline, in some cases precipitously from a year ago, for the most part, most of the numbers were better than was expected. So you know how that goes. The stocks tend to do well in the face of that. Not all of them, but most of them, certainly on the week, a good week for the banking sector. Having said that, only one of them apparently is ready if everything hits the proverbial financial fan like it did during the meltdown, and that is Citigroup. In other words, enough cash on hand, enough revenue, enough capital, as it were, to buttress any storm. Doug Holtz-Eakin on that, the former Congressional Budget Office Director. Doug, do you buy that only Citigroup is ready for this? And even if it is, knowing what you do about what happened during the meltdown, all the capital in the world can't save you from a market that's just, going out from under you, right?
Yeah, well, Citibank did get the so-called seal of approval, which is that it was not credible. It was a very bizarre way to say you're doing okay. But the key for those who failed, say at J.P. Morgan, was not that they lacked capital. It was that they lacked an executable plan and in some cases some liquidity. So those banks aren't in bad shape, and Citigroup isn't dramatically in better shape. I think they just need executable plans when bad things happen. Now, your point's the right one, which is if it really goes south, you can't save any of these large institutions. All you can try to do is make sure if they get themselves in trouble, they don't transmit problems to someone else. And that's what the purpose of these living wills, as they're called, is supposed to accomplish.
Many of the critics that I've had on this show, particularly those on the left, including this young woman who just hates capitalism, what it's wrought, saves a lot of that rap for banks, saying that they were rescued, they caused all the world's troubles. Do banks hurt themselves and their CEOs when they do point fingers at government help for other causes and ignore when they're the beneficiaries of it?
I think you have to be honest about what went on in the crisis. I mean, they got help from the government. It meant that the managers kept their jobs. The CEOs didn't get thrown out. The shareholders didn't get wiped out. That's what happened, for example, in the savings and loans crisis years ago. So they got that help. I think they should be honest about it. And they don't want it again. And I think they need to be very clear and run their operations in a way that they won't have it again. And at the flip side, I think the government needs to put in place something that looks like a special bankruptcy law for large financial institutions so that they do go away and we do get the proper market discipline.
Doug, thank you. Good seeing you again.
Thanks, Neil.